if you give people an experience, they're going to remember that. And that is valuable. That is what we all want. You know, the food at a restaurant doesn't have to be the best, but you go back for the server. You know that you do. You really do sometimes.
Hi, welcome to the Modern Waiter Podcast. I'm Marlon Joseph, the Modern Waiter, where we discuss all things restaurant business. Learn something. Laugh at something. In today's episode, we are talking to Yo Quiero Silla.
Hi.
I brushed up.
You said it perfect.
Oh, thank you so much. I brushed up on my Duolingo, so I'm good to go.
Oh my God.
Silla's a DJ in Las Vegas, baby.
Yes.
And we want to know how the music drives the day or night in this town. But first, the intro.
Tired of working deadbeat jobs for lame pay. I'm tired of getting fired and hired the same day. If you know the rules of the game, then
As usual, I'm joined by my good friend Danny DeVilla.
What's up, people?
Thank you for joining us.
Oh my God. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm truly honored, and I'm really excited to be on this podcast.
This is going to be a good show because we met you the last time we were here.
Yes.
For the first time.
Yes.
At Liquid, right?
Yes.
Liquid Day Club.
Yes. And
Doing her thing.
Doing her thing. We walk in, we didn't know what to expect. Our man Jay pushes us through, which is kind of cool. And you were very gracious when you were doing your thing. So I'm curious to know where your love of music started.
Honestly, I always say this. Music, it's my first language. It's my first love. I feel like I was born. I knew what I wanted to do before I was born. So,
oh wow!
Since I was in my mama's womb, I say.
Okay.
Because the music was in me for sure.
And how did that express itself when you were younger, particularly?
Honestly, I would listen to the radio. I'm a 90s baby, so anything produced by Diddy. I was a huge fan of J-Lo, obviously like Selena, A.B. Quintanilla. I mean, pop, rock, country. I was classically trained. My sister and I played violin. And
that is fantastic. Let me see them hands.
I mean, not anymore. I can try. I mean, I can do it. I just need a couple practice. I need some, like a couple days practice.
There you go. And you're back on.
Back on.
Yeah, for sure. So music has always been a part of my life. Like I used to actually sing country music. I played guitar. I used to write, and I played lots of instruments. And when things didn't work out, I came to Vegas. I saw a female DJ at the Cosmopolitan. I was like, oh my God, they let women DJ here. That's really cool. That would be something I could do on the side for fun.
Okay.
That's what's going to keep me happy. And then it turned into a full-time thing.
So we're across the street from the Cosmo now.
Yeah.
And when you say you did it on the side, what would you consider the other thing was at the time?
I used to do broadcasting. So I was actually doing sports broadcasting and kind of like traffic. I covered all sports in Denver, and I covered high school sports too. So
fantastic.
That's what I was doing.
And so fast forward now to end of July in Vegas. It's hot AF.
It is now, yeah.
We walk into Liquid with this dude over here, and I'm thinking, I am cooking right now. And you're doing your thing, you're up there, and you're controlling everything. Now, this is a great place to start. Let's start with the day clubs. Let's start with the pool parties and let everybody know what the hell is the attraction of the pool parties in Vegas.
It's obviously, you go to the Midwest and there's nothing. Everything it's just pretty boring. We like to just elevate and just put it on crack. So let's put a DJ, let's put bottle service, and let's jack up the prices, and let's, make everybody splash, and let's just be big kids. That's like the vibe. And then as a DJ, at least how I got to that place with Tao Group, started in the restaurants. I was playing at Beauty and Essex. I was playing at Tao Lounge. I was playing at Lavo. I play at Casa Playa at the Wynn. And they have a really big kind of A-list type of clientele. Nice. So you're there. And they had a format for the past decade. They've had a very specific format. And to be honest with you, I started playing with them in 2020. Caesars Entertainment had let everybody go in quarantine. So I had to just do what I had to do. But I realized the people that were in front of me, and I wanted to change my DJ. Like, I just wanted to change my sound.
Okay.
And I said, I listened to so much music in 2020 that there's just so much good music out there. I want to share it. So I just shared it. And I had the time to tell a story. In a restaurant, you just zone out and you just create a story, So I'm playing artists people don't typically hear. I really wanted to make room for the new artists too, and just set a vibe and tell a story, enhance the atmosphere. And before I knew it, anywhere from the owner to the bathroom attendant, and I mean that, loved me. And I promoted myself as an artist in 2020 as well, and there was just a lot going on for me, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I'm worn out. Like, I don't know if being a restaurant DJ is as far as I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm tired. And then I got a call from the entertainment director of town. He's like, starting January, you're gonna start opening the clubs. Everywhere you go, everybody loves you. You've worked your ass off.
Let's do this.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And then the next level pressure began. It's just like building your resume.
New level,
it's
new
like
devil.
new level, new devil.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, this is really it too. I got to do good. If I suck the first night, they may not have me back. But you know what? They've given me room to grow exactly the way Caesars Entertainment did. And it's so cool. It's so rewarding. And I really value, like, what I love about Vegas is the hospitality, is that you can make a difference being a server, being a bartender, being a blackjack dealer, being a fucking mermaid, in a pool for a corporate event party. You can be everything. But if you give people an experience, they're going to remember that. And that is valuable. That is what we all want. The food at a restaurant doesn't have to be the best, but you go back for the server. That you
do.
You really do sometimes.
That's really interesting about being in the restaurant and you're telling your story and you're leading them through their experience.
Yes.
And so at the day club, you described it as one big kids party.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because your kids are coming from all over the world. How do you handle that?
You have to be on top of your game. And, I love Latin music. I started singing Latin music because I really want to be part of my culture. Mm-hmm. But through some of the great DJs of Las Vegas, like DJ Lima, he loves to push new music and world music and culture. Diplo's the same way from a producer standpoint. He covers Latin, like Jamaican island music down to Africa, and he just took over country music, so from a professional standpoint, genius level standpoint, like I don't like to be monotone. I just don't like things to feel like work.
Okay.
At all. So I have people are like, what kind of DJ do you play? It's like, I play everything. I've got house residencies, I've got Latin residencies, I've got hip hop residencies. And now it's open format, so the music style has changed.
You're allowed to mix them up.
Yeah.
Like when we saw you mix it up, it was really good.
Yeah, you mix it up and flow, that takes years. You just can't come to Vegas and be a DJ. You got to really work the rooms and start somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's really worth its weight in gold because you pick up on energies. And then all of a sudden you become like this superhuman that reads every energy in the room. And when it comes to like Tao nightclub, honestly, I don't know if anybody knows this about me, but I throw up every time I play at Tao.
You get the Willie Beeman?
I throw
The Willie Beeman.
I'm just like, oh, here it is. We're doing okay.
Because you're nervous-sighted.
Nervous-sighted.
Yes.
100%. And
Yeah.
I'm just like.
But after you throw up, you're ready, right?
After I throw up, I'm ready. I need my Red Bull. Lately, like Red Bull Reposado is my thing. Mm-hmm. I don't mix. Like Repo just gets me like loose fast, and then I become carefree, and then I'm able to.
You get into that flow state.
Yes.
Quickly, because in the clubs, it's just go time.
You gotta go.
There's no time to build and create a
Yeah, nobody cares about your process.
No, they
Maybe
really
a bicycle
don't.
clown.
And that takes a long time to get to. Is from transforming from, let's say, 4 hours, sometimes 5 hours set into a 2 hour straight. Go into it, but then not not to try to tower over the headliner, but still like be you, but make everybody happy from the bar.
Of course you want to tower over the headliner.
The bar.
You want to make them step their game up.
You know what?
It's like
I hope that I do.
Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I hope that I do.
You called her out. She was trying to be like,
You don't gotta be modest about it.
don't dull your shine.
everybody
Don't dull your
knows.
shine.
If you're like a starting, like I still rap a little bit, but you know, when you get into the game, when you get in the booth with professionals, you want to step your level up, and you want them to step their level up. That's exactly what you're doing.
Well, you're absolutely right, because I would hear everybody, and everybody sounded the same to me, and I was like, I cannot play it. I can't go to what they do. I just can't do it, even though I can do it.
Yes.
I've been doing that before I was at Tao. But I'm like, I'm not going to do it. And so that alone is what makes me nervous. It makes me so nervous. I forget what I'm doing, but nobody knows it.
Which is great.
That's a part of the artist in you, because
Yeah.
you're bearing yourself and you're alone on an island. Literally, you're on that island.
Facts.
And
Wow.
you have these expectations with all the ears, not just the eyes as well, but all the ears. And you're bearing your soul. You're saying, okay, I know that I can press play and walk away, but that's not what I'm getting.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm here for.
Exactly.
I'm going to paint you something with this music, and I hope you like it.
Mm-hmm.
And you stand out there because you don't know if they're going to.
Yeah.
You have an idea because that's what your conviction is. So
You know that you like it, and you know that you want to share it with the world, but at the same time,
There's still-
you're terrified to see if they accept you.
Yeah.
And really.
And you know, you're right. That is always like, it's always a process. Like, I don't hold on to the fact that everybody at Tao loves me. Everybody loves me. You know, I'm like, I treat every night like the first time.
And it has to be that way. And that is how you
Because-
stay crisp and humble. And,
Yes, if you do
and
that,
better than the rest.
Yes, the staff, the bartenders, if they don't like you, they will get you fired, and that has happened to me at a place like O'Shea's, a couple other places where they may not just like female DJs, but one thing at like with Tao, when you're in the big main room, you have a really bigger stage, and as an artist, I'm like, this is like performing. So then I dress up even more in the nightclubs, and you know, phones are on me now.
Okay.
And I don't like to just look like this,
Yeah.
like I did my first night. I didn't look up at the crowd once on my first night. I didn't. I just wanted to make sure I did a good job, and now I can't even imagine how I didn't look up once. I just keep coming.
had your helmet on.
alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were zoning out. You were in the game.
Yeah.
You were in the game.
I was in the game.
But now part of the game is looking at the crowd.
Looking at the crowd.
Yes.
And it has almost become now not so much about what they want to hear. It's
You're
kind
vibing
of
off of them. And they're vibing off of you.
They're vibing off of me now. They just want to be part of your zone. Like,
Yeah.
take me to your world. And that
you create your own
releases the
bubble. You
press.
make it big enough for
Sure.
everybody to join in.
Exactly.
totally.
Boom.
Yeah. And the energy is always super dope.
So I sense that you're really taking us through. I'm curious to kind of define the difference between the day and the night. We did a show about day shift, night shift, and they're completely different because of the vibe. And now I'm getting the sense of the big kid party to the big kid party.
Yes.
What would I be surprised to know about the difference between, besides the obvious, the day club, swing parties, and the nightclubs?
I mean, obviously, the day club parties they could be just as dangerous as the nighttime parties, because you can't see like necessarily people slipping drugs in your drink, if maybe that's what you're talking about. One is, you know, it's people are more naked and during the day, and you have the time to
Take it in.
tell a story.
Okay.
You have the time to go crazier too. There's so much to look at.
Yeah.
And people are talking and having fun, and the music is just really loud and awesome and exciting, and you're like, wow, the bass hits harder. Like, I don't know. Day clubs are the best thing to play.
Do you have a favorite?
Day clubs. I love the day clubs.
Now
Okay.
my question, because day clubs are seasonal. So
Yeah.
you do, throughout the year, let's say, like 6 months out the year, do day clubs? And then,
Yeah.
and the nightclubs are all year round for you?
Yes.
Okay.
year-round, so summer schedule for a DJ can be really busy. I mean, still, like, I do Tao on Thursdays, which seems to be a regular thing now. I would love that as much as possible. So Tao Thursdays, like, I'll go to New York on Friday, come back to Vegas on Saturday. That's how it was for me this weekend, but I was in KC.
I'm working in New York and in KC?
DJing. And then sometimes you have appearances or like community events they want you to do. And, you know, being big in the community helps you just have longevity, professionalism, be kind. Just because you're a DJ, or I don't even like to be called a DJ, to be honest with you.
Okay. Tell us a little about that.
It could be the rise of DJ worship, or like DJ, like, you know, there's just everyone, and with Twitch, bedroom DJs are literally a thing. So, and that's fine. Everybody creates anything on their own frequency. You know, sometimes being a DJ is kind of cheesy to me.
Okay.
Especially if it's like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, I don't like cheese. I like quality.
What do you want to be known as?
An artist.
Okay.
But I am a really good DJ. But, you know, that's just my own insecurity between being an artist first. Sometimes people will give you, like, the eye roll and blah, 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 blah. And that just comes with, like, you know, the judgment from others.
When we were there, you played some of your own music. So you are an artist, and I was impressed because people were reacting to that. They came up. One thing that I liked I kind of hung back and observed, not only are you gracious, which is one thing that I want to talk about a little bit later, is that when people came up and they would ask you about certain music, you take the time to talk to them because it is hospitality. You are entertaining. I've seen both sides of the coins. Yeah.
I mean, I just experienced, you know, we're having fun. Who doesn't want to be behind the DJ booth anymore? Like, it used to give me anxiety if people were around, but when you level up, I'm like, well, I see Diplo up there with packed DJ booths. Like, how does he play? I'm going to have to get used to that. If I want to be on that level, I'm going to have to get used to that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I switched it up, and I'm like, well, let's bring all the girls in. Let's have a girl party. So now I like to promote myself as girl party. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Women still aren't used to seeing other women on the main stage, especially as a DJ. They're not. And when I was in Kansas City this weekend, and I did a Carol G after party. So I'm Latina. Everybody's Latina there. And so it was probably the most emotional experience for me because all these girls, they're just like screaming. They're putting their hands up and jumping up and down for me. And I'm like, they don't know me. But I was telling my sister, she's like, well, they feel represented. And then all of a sudden I just started like tearing up. I'm like,
that's important.
Okay, you know, now I have a bigger purpose too. But that was always part of my purpose, even with my original music.
Great power comes great responsibility.
That's right, exactly. Not trying to, God. You know, but you have to think bigger things, even in the main room. I don't consider myself an opener at all. You know, I definitely think of it being just as good as, you know, the headliner. If you want to be on that stage, you got to act that way. But
100%.
You know.
So take us a little bit behind the curtains about your artistry. Artistry. Yeah.
Well, it's always evolving. So right now I'm working, let's just say if last year me, which was more like not Tex-Mex, but Mexican pop, trying to push my new like Mexican pop sound. And then I was low-key DJ on the side. Now I'm in the main rooms, the DJing is taken over, but back in the studio. So it's like I've got Latin house, I've got some really good EDM, really more emotional things that people may not have ever expected from me.
Okay.
So more things that come from the heart, a bigger sound, and that's nonstop. I'm gonna head to the studio right after this. Like, I literally don't get any sleep because it's the other year to put the work in. If you want to have a bigger next year, you got to just keep putting the work in.
There you go.
So I'm putting the work in so I can headline next year. I really want to get on the festival circuit, and I think what I have right now coming up, I think it'll definitely help get me there for sure.
You go. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Aw,
No,
thank
it's
you.
really, I think that artists, you don't get the reward right away. You know what I mean? Like, you're working and you're not getting the
It's a
feedback
grind,
right away. It's not like you're playing and somebody says, "Oh, that's great." You're doing the work all alone. And then
All of it.
it's almost like a chef or something, right? Like, that's
Yes,
gonna hit up a
100%.
banquet. They don't see all the prep and the going to the grocery store and buying and picking the perfect, and the years that it takes
100%.
to put into the craft. And you have this beautiful thing, and people come by and they pop it, and then they go, "That's delicious." But you didn't get that for how many years or how many days or how many weeks. That moment is so precious.
Great comparison, because I actually have a lot of really great chef friends who they just understand my process. They understand me on a whole different level, which I love. But I think chefs are crazier than artists.
They're just crazy artists.
I mean, and they're mad crazy.
Listen, we know some chefs.
Yeah.
and-
So artists aren't necessarily that crazy. Chefs
Well,
are on
some are.
another level. Okay, we won't talk about Kanye yet, but
I didn't say a word.
I still love him. I just said this. Kanye, is the juice worth the squeeze right now?
Oh, he's
Like,
losing
is
his
it
mind,
is
but
it
yeah, we love Kanye.
worth the squeeze? I know he means well. There's a point that we're missing, but in this past few days, is it worth the squeeze? No. Let's just whatever.
Yes.
Anyways.
We'll let the Kanye go for now.
Yeah, we'll scratch that off. I have a cousin who is into music. He lives in London and he DJs, and I've sat with him several times, and so beforehand he imagines what he's going to do and things like that. But I see how he reacts to requests, right? And so I'm curious. I won't tell
she's
you.
actually very good.
That's the gracious part I wanted to get
Yes.
to, because I was like this, like, you know,
Most
and
DJs
Jay
hate
was there
requests.
too, and like
Yeah.
Jay would be, you know, and
Stiff arming.
and she's stiff arming, and then she kind of leans back. She's like, "Let her in."
This is really interesting that this is your perspective of me, because in my head I am the opposite. In my head, people ask me for a request, I would get as angry as when people would ask me for a menu as a cocktail server. I'd be like,
Okay, so it could have been just that day.
It could have been that day.
You could have been.
But
You know?
either way, you were amazing.
Yeah. Either way, I was like, I stepped back. I was like,
that's funny.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you took the request though. It's not like you played it, you know, on demand. That's not what
Well,
I'm
no,
saying.
You can't. When you're like you said, you're telling a story. Okay. When you're in the middle of your story, you don't deviate from the story to go to the fairy tale part. Okay.
Thank you for understanding
We
that.
are, you're here for you're giving them your vision.
Yeah.
Okay. And eventually, what you want to hear will probably play into my vision, but I'm gonna take it in, and then when I'm ready for you, I will play it for you. And
Absolutely.
that is how requests should be always perceived. And you should never think that you're going to hear your song immediately. Okay, it's not. If you wanted touch tunes, you'd be at a bar listening to touch tunes. Okay, this is a show, and she is the artist. Let her do her thing.
You know, I have to tell people that there's sometimes you never know what kind of answer you're going to get out of me. And you're absolutely right. Someone with a way out of, I'm doing a pool party, maybe not every gig is glamorous. You know, not every gig is glamorous. So if I'm at not a less glamorous gig, I'm like, okay, these are the people I grew up with, but I don't want to take them there. But I'm aware that they might, so the anxiety is it's lingering the whole time.
Okay.
But then when they finally come up, I can picture it. I'm like, he's gonna request AC/DC or he's gonna something, and I look at him, and it's usually like this. You know, I'm hired here. I don't even know if I want to say this out loud.
Say it out loud, girl.
But it's
Say it.
exactly the thing of what you were just saying. Like, listen, that I am hired here to do my thing.
Yeah.
Those aren't pool party vibes, but let me see if I have a remix that maybe I can play for you. I'll be nice sometimes. I don't get a lot of requests, to be honest. Not like, I don't really get a lot of requests unless those are instances, but I still like to push people out of their comfort zone and give them an experience.
Let me do what I do.
Yeah, I like to give them an experience from the staff to, especially to everybody, and make sure the numbers are there. I like for my numbers to be high
and when the
all the time.
experience is good, people forget about that request because you've already intrigued
They do,
them.
yes.
And that is, I think requests come when people in their mind are having their own soundtrack in their own head. But if you're giving them a soundtrack that they can actually vibe to, you are going to get less requests. You are going to have less people bothering you because you've already tapped in that vibe, and they're there for a reason.
Right, and that comes with, it just comes with a lot of practice, a lot of time. I'm always listening to music. I'm always putting together playlists. I'm always, it's just nonstop on my phone. So,
what's the hierarchy of when someone gives you a compliment? When does it mean the most, and from whom?
It doesn't matter who it's from. It doesn't matter who it's from at all. Except when it comes from the main boss, that means a lot.
Okay.
When you're DJing at the Win and they're very selective with their DJs, and you see like the boss come in and like, ooh, yay, let's do what I do, and then just get in the zone. I'm like, yes, I'm excited. He finally gets to hear me, and I don't suck. Like I work really well under pressure, and then he comes up to me and they're like, they're always like this. You're very good. Big wigs are always, doesn't matter where they are. They'll like point at you. What's your name? Or you may not even get that. You're very good. Okay. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. This is a dream come true. Okay, yeah.
Quick, fast to the point out.
There you go.
Yep. I'll take it.
That's all that
Back
matters.
to work.
Keep signing those checks.
All that matters. When people want a picture with me, that is just as good as the boss saying that to you.
Fantastic.
Honestly. Yeah. So it feels like the first time every time.
There you go.
Yeah.
I would like to know about how you balance. I mean, you're working in the studio. You do day club. You do nightclub. How do you balance your work life?
She just told you she doesn't.
I don't balance it.
Did you not hear that part?
You're absolutely. You can read my mind. I don't balance it. I really tried to prioritize that this year. I actually got on a dating app for the first time, and I don't like them. I don't like them at all. I don't really like putting myself out there to the general public. Is how I thought of it. But what it did for me for the 2 weeks that I was on it was it taught me to just like meet someone and then say, no, next. Like, just thank you, next. But it taught me, I saw what I could at least get. And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I attract big-time nerds, like really big brainiacs, which is cool. I like that. I'm a super nerd.
So I have
it's
an
just
issue
not there.
with the apps.
Yeah.
I don't find it to be the best feedback. I'm not on any apps, so I get that. But I'm surprised because you are out among people. So how do you handle? Let me formulate the question. You're a beautiful girl, lady, woman, person.
Thank you.
Wow.
I don't know where to go sometimes, you got to go non-binary, gender neutral.
I just say you're right. She. I'm her. She.
Yeah, whatever.
Silla.
You're beautiful.
Thank you.
And
She's
so,
Silla. I love it.
how do you handle being, approached in that environment? Because there's less and less ways I find to be genuine in certain situations.
So are you talking of if someone's hitting on me in the DJ booth?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
If I have glasses on or something, I'll be like, I'll look you up and down. I'm
Okay.
Like, oh, hi. How are you? You want a drink? What are you doing later? I'm very bold. I will say exactly what's on my mind.
So does that work for you? Why did you try the dating apps is my question.
Because I needed to not meet people in nightlife.
That's valid.
I had to get away from it.
Yeah.
Want some
That's
normality.
like, I needed normal. A DJ life is not, it's not really real.
Yeah.
not normal.
It's
No.
not real. It's not, you're out,
You're
you're away from reality.
It's fairy tale land.
You're
Peter
part
Pan.
of the movies.
100%
Yeah.
every
You're
day.
Hollywood.
I mean, I love you, but I don't know about that. But hey, I guess you're right. You're
I
really
mean,
right. It's just, it's a bubble.
It's just an extension of the Hollywood life.
For sure. It really is. I say it's a rock star life that nobody knows about. I mean, if you're not into Vegas, you're not into nightlife, you know. Other people look at me outside of Vegas with an eye roll, you know, and they think I just jump up and down and loud and obnoxious, which I'm not.
No, you're quite.
But that's kind of their perception of me.
So are you then not trapped, but perception it's a very loaded word, right? Because we all do that. We're waiters. So when we meet somebody, we're stepping into their projection of what a waiter is, their perception. Same with an artist. You are stepping into what their projection is, and you're not always able to present yourself in an authentic way that they can get to know you beyond what they think you should be.
Sometimes, excuse me, I will know when I care to give that energy to.
Okay.
And I just know. I'll be quiet. I'll be very quiet.
Ooh,
I'll have my hat on. I'll have my shades on. Those are my invisible shades. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, your
They're
invisible
fashion shades.
Okay.
Fashion shades. I don't want to look like a douchebag, but I love fashion. But in those instances, yeah, I'll just be quiet and save my energy.
Interesting.
It just comes with knowing how to read it. But most of the time, I really like to give everybody just a solid experience and leave them with, like, I don't know, wonder. Even as a DJ.
I have 2 left for you,
Yes.
and then I'll let you go back to the studio, back to the grind.
Right.
And what's one of the craziest things that you've experienced in your DJ career?
You know that I have manifested everything that I've wanted. It may have taken me a long time, but it's all happening.
Good.
When I first moved to Vegas, I was like, I want to run this city. I want everybody to know me. And it's getting there. It's definitely
That's
getting
fantastic.
there. So now I'm like, let's take over LA, let's take over New York, Miami, and the music is going to take me all over. But outside of that, you know, I mean, crazy things. Yeah, you see crazy, wild Vegas things, you know. But for me, it's just making my dreams come true, making them happen alone, like on my own, pretty much.
And so with that, do you have any advice for someone who might be watching, a young lady that loves music, and it's not necessarily going to apply to Vegas, but it might be stepping into her own light, wherever she may be. What advice would you give that young lady?
Just go for it. Even if you're not ready, don't wait till you're ready. Just go for it, because I wasn't ever ready, ever, for anything.
If you wait till you're ready, you'll never be ready.
Most of I was an NBA dancer. My back dancing experience
What haven't
were
you done?
auditions. They were auditions. They were auditions.
Papers aren't big enough.
You know why? I grew up in a really religious, super strict, with a strict father who raised me, and I couldn't do anything. So as soon as I turned 18, I was like, get me the hell out of here. I'm going to live my life. And I still feel like that 18-year-old or even,
wow.
I say I feel like a 12-year-old locked in her room, lost in her imagination. And that's like my version of Las Vegas. I like to be with the creatives, people that just really kind of, you know, what makes Vegas entertainment city, capital of the world.
You have bared your soul,
Oh.
and we are so grateful.
Thank you.
There's not enough time, but that's on purpose, because I'd love to lean on you again and dig deeper in,
Definitely.
because there's as doing interviews, you never know where they're going to go.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's very refreshing to me that we're able to discover not just what we do, but discover you. I love making connections.
Thank you.
And I feel like we've been able to do that and share your story with others. So with gratitude, many
Aw,
thanks.
thank you.
And where can people find you?
Find me on TikTok, Instagram, social media platforms at Yo Quiero Silla. It's like silla as a chair in Spanish. That's really what it translates to. Yo quiero Silla, but it's short for Priscilla. And I took out the C because S is sexier. It's just more Silla. I don't know. I like a lot of the words that start with an S that describe me
I'll put it
better.
in the
Yeah.
link.
So that's why I had it. So in the Latin interviews, like, ¿por qué silla? ¿Por qué silla? ¿Quieres asentarse? Like, you want to sit down? Like, why silla? Why chair? And I said, me llama Priscilla, como silla, escriben S porque me gusta. My name is Priscilla. I spell it with an S because I like it. So siéntate, cabrón, y escúchame. So sit down and listen to me. Like,
I understood everything.
let's just...
Me too.
Duolingo,
Oh,
baby.
perfect. So siéntate. So just sit down. Like, enjoy the show.
Yes, enjoy the show. Thank
Yes,
you
with
once
that.
again. With that, reach out to Silla. Yo quiero Silla.
Oh, wait. Okay, so Yo Quiero, really quick. Yo Quiero is, that was just the name that I wanted on my social media handle. Like, I want Silla. I want everybody to want me. And then it turned into, like, my motto. And then, you know, in the club, I'll do, like, when I say yo, you say quiero.
Oh.
And that goes into it. So even when people, like, want me, like, now the Win says Yo Quiero, you know, and Tao Group says Yo Quiero. Kansas City, New York Fashion Week says
meta.
Yo Quiero. Exactly.
Very, very
So
clever. I love it.
That's it. Do not cut out Yo Quiero just yet. I'm not ready for that yet. Until enough people know who I am, that's when I'll cut it short and just be Silla.
There you go. The plan, the master plan
Yeah.
is evolving.
Yes.
Fantastic. Reach out to us at the Modern Waiter Podcast on Instagram. You can reach me on email as well, themodernwaiter@gmail.com. We're getting infiltrated. Come on in.
Hi.
What's up, buddy?
Oh.
All right,
Ooh,
we're wrapping
I
up.
think I had.
And
Hi.
with that, I'm Marlon Joseph, the Modern Waiter.
I'm Danny Villas. Subscribe, people.
We'll see you next time.
Later.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Yo, Kiera.
This is what I believe.
Yo, I believe in getting them chips, pushing fly whips, banging them chicks, and leaving them tricks, flipping the game, yo, get it and dip, split it in six, chill on the strip,
This is
fuck
what I
waiting for
believe.
tips, yo, my game's up, caught me a 6, no license of risk, so what I do, let the baddest bitch whip.